We often talk about business like it's some kind of battlefield. But what if it's actually more like a game of high-stakes chess? See, it's not just about making a move, it's about seeing the entire board and thinking 3, 4, 5 moves ahead. And that's exactly what we're going to break down today, how you can shift your entire mindset from just being a player in the game to becoming a strategic grandmaster. So let me just start with the single most important question you can ask yourself. When you look at your business, at your career, are you playing checkers? Just reacting, making the obvious jump? Or are you playing chess, thinking ahead, setting traps, planning your victory? Honestly, the answer to that question changes everything. And the difference between the two? Oh, it is night and day. A checkers player is totally reactive. They're often emotional, and they only see the problem that's right in front of their face. A chess grandmaster, on the other hand, is proactive. They're logical. They're not just trying to solve today's little issue. They are calculating the entire chain reaction their decision will kick off way down the line. That kind of foresight, that's the ultimate weapon. So how do we get there? Well, here's the game plan. We're going to walk through this exact roadmap. We'll start by defining what this grandmaster mindset really is, and then we're going to break down 5 crucial moves that'll take you from just reacting to the board to actually controlling it. Okay, first things first. What is this mindset really all about? Well, when you boil it all down, it comes down to just one thing: anticipation. It's the raw ability to see the future consequences of the actions you take right now. And this requires a really fundamental shift in your thinking. See, most people are constantly asking, okay, what should I do right now? A grandmaster asks a totally different question. They ask, if I make this move, what are the 3 most likely things that will happen next, and how am I already prepared for each of them? Just changing that one question is an absolute game changer. All right, let's get into our first play, knowing yourself. Think of this as your opening move, your gambit. Every single great strategy, whether it's in chess or in business, it always starts with a deep, and let's be honest, a sometimes brutal understanding of the person who's making the moves, you. This whole thing breaks down our motivation into 4 core drivers. So what really gets you out of bed in the morning? Is it advancement, that raw ambition to climb the ladder and get the status? Is it individuality, the desire for freedom to live life on your own terms? Maybe it's what they call madness. That is, a fierce competitive fire to just win and prove everyone wrong. Or is it purpose, this deep need to make a lasting impact on the world? You have to be honest with yourself here, because your personal driver dictates your entire playbook. And this is exactly why it matters so much. You can't just copy the playbook of some madness-driven CEO if your real driver is individuality and all you want is freedom. A strategy that isn't totally aligned with your fundamental why is a strategy that is absolutely doomed to fail. Okay, move number 2 is all about reasoning like a pro. Once you're in the mid-game with pieces all over the board, logic has to crush emotion. Your decisions have to be driven by cold, hard calculation, not just a gut feeling. And here's a super powerful, really simple tool for that: the ITR formula. Before you make any big move, you just ask 3 simple questions. What's the investment? I'm talking money, energy, focus. What's the time it's going to take to see it all the way through? And finally, what is the actual tangible return? This little formula forces you to make decisions based on math, not just on mood. And the other key to thinking like a pro is this concept: solve for X. You got to stop putting band-aids on 10 different symptoms. Instead, you need to dig and dig until you find that one single root cause, the X, that, if you fix it, makes all the other problems just melt away. Are your sales down because of your team, or is the real problem a bad product? Solving for X is all about finding that core issue. Now for move 3, building the right team. Look, a grandmaster doesn't win a chess match alone. They command an entire army. And to truly scale what you're doing, you have to get beyond doing all the work yourself and completely master the art of duplication. And here's the secret to doing that right. It's not just about hiring skills. You're not just looking for a coder or salesperson. You are looking for people who share your core values, your mindset. See, skills can be taught. Character, work ethic, that's a whole lot harder to change. You want to duplicate your best qualities, not just your technical abilities. And at the end of the day, it really all comes down to trust. The true test of your leadership, of your team, is what happens the second you walk out of the room. If everything falls apart, you haven't really built a team. You've just built a system that depends entirely on you. Which brings us perfectly to move 4, scaling with systems. Growth is awesome, right? But it also creates a ton of chaos. So this move is all about building the structure, the fortress, that actually allows you to grow without everything just breaking apart. As you start to scale, you have to manage this crucial tension with your money. You have to play both defense and offense at the same time. Defense means things like cash reserves, managing risk. Offense is about aggressively reinvesting in smart, strategic growth. If you play too much defense, you'll stagnate. But if you play too much offense, you could lose everything. A master strategist knows how to find that perfect balance. And this is really the bottom line for scaling. You can't just work harder or throw more people at a problem to fix it. That's just brute force. Sustainable, long-term scaling only comes from structure, from things like standard operating procedures, clear goals, and solid processes that allow the machine to run itself, faster and better. And now we've arrived at the final phase, move 5, winning the end game. This is for when you're no longer just trying to survive in the market. You are now playing to dominate your entire industry. This is where business really does become a contact sport. The end game requires you to master a completely new set of power plays. It means controlling your public story before your competitors do it for you. It means truly understanding leverage so you can win those huge negotiations that define your future. It's about developing specific strategies to take on the Goliaths in your industry and ultimately positioning yourself so that you are completely indispensable to your customers. This quote just perfectly captures the spirit of the endgame. It's not about being a jerk or being unethical. It's about maintaining your integrity, being harmless as a dove, while also being incredibly shrewd, incredibly strategic, wise as a serpent. You have to be both. So as we wrap this all up, it is so important to understand this one thing. These 5 moves, they're not a checklist you just do once and you're done. They are a continuous cycle. After you scale, you might need to go all the way back to move 1 and reevaluate your why. After a huge win, you'll need to use your reasoning to figure out the next phase. This whole framework is a loop, and it's designed to help you proactively shape your world instead of just sitting back and reacting to it. So we've laid out the entire board. We've shown you the 5 moves to develop that grandmaster mindset. The framework is now in your hands. So the only question left to ask is, what is your next move?